Hi, my name is Rick Stevens, retired professional scientist at Harvard Medical School. I know about the dangers of asbestos. I know it's a major factor, risk factor in mesothelioma. So we bought this house, and my wife, Yolanda, will tell you all about it. And when we had the inspection, we found that there was some asbestos downstairs. They didn't notice the asbestos in the kitchen here. For anybody who's interested, we're renovating the whole house. And when the cabinets got picked up, there was 3 layers. There was the wood layers you see right here. There was another small tile, 6" by 6", and a bigger tile on top of that. And I thought to people, why did they do that? Then of course, when I did some research, I realized that underneath the tile was asbestos. So the decision was to be made, if it was cost effective, to tear up the whole floor and to replace it down. Yolanda will introduce you now, and she will tell you all about the process.
When we had the initial inspection to purchase the house, it only showed a small area of asbestos in one of the closets in the basement. And that was what we thought we had to remove, which seemed like a really small job. And the reason I mention it again is because homeowners should really ask inspectors to go a little bit deeper if they notice any asbestos, because that asbestos turned into a much bigger deal. It turned out it went behind the closet and into the crawl spaces throughout the basement area. That was a big production by itself. And then to discover that there was asbestos in the kitchen and it needed to be removed, we decided that I would do the research and find a company. The first thing I did was I checked Google reviews. Anthony's Abatement came up #1 on Google reviews. And I read the customer testimonials to see what customers were saying. And it wasn't just the reviews, but it was specifically what customers were saying about the process that caused me to say, okay, this is the company that we will go with. Because there are other companies who have great 5-star reviews, but reading the actual reviews will make the difference in making choices. And then when you guys came in, Alex came, and I like to test people's energy, and I like to make eye contact. I felt very comfortable with Alex. I didn't feel like he was trying to rip us off or that he had somehow seen a cash cow or anything. I felt like the pricing was reasonable. After my husband and I talked about it, we decided to move forward. Mark and the team that came out to do the work were actually really wonderful. You know, they took time to introduce themselves to me because I was here that morning, and they talked to me about what they were doing. And even though we were leaving the property, they started, I could see them covering every opening. They were so conscientious about that. I could see how thorough the details were with the coverings. I really appreciated that. And then they finished sooner than we expected, because this was supposed to be a 2-day job, and it ended up being a single-day job, and they just stayed later and got it done. And I appreciated that too, because that meant we could continue the work that we were already doing throughout the rest of the house. But when I came back, Mark walked us through everything that had been done, other than if you had seen the floor before, it was just completely gone. There was no trace of it. You wouldn't have known they were here because they cleaned up behind themselves so thoroughly. Matter of fact, they were the best at cleaning up behind themselves in comparison to all the other contractors we've had out here. And we've had a little bit of everybody out here working, because everything needs doing: plumbing, electricity, painting, all kinds of things. But we're happy. We're glad the work is done. We feel like we made choices that will keep our family safe for years to come. We heartily recommend that you choose Anthony's Abatement for your asbestos removal.